Hey, what is up, mortals? It is AC here, and before we get into today's video, there is something I'd like to say. I'd like to let you all know that we have a merch store. Some of the items in it are only available for a limited amount of time, so if you're interested, go into the description and check it out. Each purchase helps us make more content. Secondly, if this video hits 300 likes by the end of the week, we will continue this what if. Thirdly, if you didn't know, only 41.3% of you guys are subscribed to us, so please hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon. Now, with that out of the way, let's get into the story. The hero team wins! Izuku allowed a sigh to escape his lips before his legs gave out, the exhaustion of the two successive battles catching up to him all at once. Ida got up quickly, looking a little winded from their battle. Are you alright, Midoriya? Izuku looked up at Ida. Right. He had friends now. Friends who cared about him. He smiled shakily at the thought. I'm fine, Ida. Nothing recovery girl can't fix. Ida nodded and offered him a hand up. Izuku took it gratefully, the moment reminding him of that day under the bridge, the day his friendship with Bakugo was ruined forever. But this was different. Now he had people who cared for him and who were willing to help him in his times of need. Ida and Uraraka were nothing like Bakugo. Izuku took note of the dent in Ida's armor, feeling a bit bad for ruining his costume. Before he could voice his apology, though, Uraraka came running over to the two. We did it, Deku-kun! You were amazing! His cheeks lit up and he stammered for an answer. It was nothing. You were even more amazing, Uraraka-san. Without you, we would never have won this exercise. Uraraka smiled appreciatively and turned to Ida. You were great too, Ida! You nearly got me! Ida may have smiled, but Izuku couldn't quite tell through the bulky helmet. I feel like I quite properly embraced the role of villainy. Even so, you two managed to best me. You caught me off guard with that ranged attack of yours, Midoriya. I wasn't aware you had such equipment. Izuku was a little shocked at how much praise the two were giving him. He almost felt like he didn't deserve it. He had gotten lucky after all. He was teamed up with a friend, someone glad to work with and trust him, and was faced against Bakugo. He knew Bakugo's quirk better than his own, and knew exactly how to use his brash personality against him. Even so, he nearly lost against him. Did he deserve this win? Would he have won if he had been pit against any other team in his class? Izuku didn't have any more time to think about it, as All Might's voice came from the intercom again. If both teams would come back so we can analyze their performances. And, someone untie young Bakugo, please? Ida ended up being the one to do it, though the blonde had woken up some time before they arrived, if him yelling, Fucking Deku, you goddamn nerd, was any indication. After he was free, he thankfully stopped yelling, seemingly content to just glare at Izuku angrily. The moment they got back, Izuku was swarmed by nearly the entire class. He felt anxiety flare up in his chest, not used to so many people surrounding him. The first person to speak up was a boy with spiky red hair and a muscular build. That was so manly, dude! The way you took out Bakugo was amazing! Good work, Midoriya! Izuku felt his face flush again. He was sure this was the most he had ever been complimented, maybe ever. Before he could think of a reply, a girl with pink skin and golden eyes spoke up. You were so good at dodging, and you took down Ida so effortlessly! I guess you got number 1 on the entrance exam for a reason, huh? Izuku felt his head spinning as the girl got in his face, jumping up and down excitedly. She's so close! His inner turmoil caused him to miss the blonde, blue-eyed boy saying something, only to be interrupted by All Might. Ahem! You can all ask questions after the exercise is over. Midoriya, please see recovery girl for your injuries and get back as soon as you can. The sound of his idol snapped Izuku out of his stupor, and he nodded quickly and left. Upon reaching the nurse's office, he was scolded once again by recovery girl. Every time you manage to get hurt like this. At least it was relatively minor this time. I don't want to have to keep you here for hours again because you lost control. You hear me? She gave his head a whack with her cane, then kissed his arm and sent him on his way. Despite the exhaustion setting in, he couldn't help but smile. He had done it. He had stood up to Bakugo, even if it was using All Might's quirk. He came back before the next match started, thankfully. It seemed like they had been discussing his match, and they decided to give Ida the rank of MVP for his well-thought strategy to deal with both of them, and that he had managed to hold his own 2 against 1 for at least a little while. After that, The next match was the boy with white and red hair, who he was pretty sure was named Shoto Todoroki, and a boy with 6 arms and a mask on his face as the heroes. Against them was a blonde boy with a tail and an invisible girl. Seeing their quirks, he wished he had his notebooks on him right now. He began to mutter as he thought about who would win when the temperature in the room dropped in an instant, ice forming along the walls. He looked up in shock to see that Todoroki had frozen the entire building. Todoroki's quirk was even stronger than he thought. Was this really what he was up against? Did he belong here if they could do things like that? He was using someone else's quirk to get by, All Might's quirk, but it seemed that it still wouldn't be enough to stand up against Todoroki. Power that you're born with, and power that you earn, the words of Sir echoed in his mind. Izuku took a deep breath. Right. He had worked his ass off to be here, had worked harder than anybody else to catch up. He earned his power. He deserved it, and he was going to use it to become the #1 hero. He just needed to work even harder than before. He could do it. Before we get back into the story, I would like to say that we've got a second channel called Anime Deep Dive. Anime Deep Dive goes over the hard facts of the anime presented. Now, in case you guys didn't know, we have a third channel called We the Celestials Naruto What If. We the Celestial Naruto What If mainly focuses on our Naruto What If stories. If you are interested in content like this, please go check the description below or click the eye icon in the top right corner. Now, with that out of the way, let's get back into the story. As all his classmates did the exercise, he couldn't help but think of the look on Bakugo's face as Todoroki won so easily. It was a look Izuku had never seen on him before. It was unnerving, to say the least. But he didn't have any time to think about it as his classmates once again came up to him, though there weren't so many of them this time. They introduced themselves and praised him for his fight with Bakugo. As they talked, he couldn't help but notice that Bakugo was already gone. He had known him since they were 4 years old, knew for years that he was quirkless. Now, seeing his quirk, probably thought that he had hidden it. A small part of him wanted to tell Bakugo the truth, that he had been given his quirk, but he remembered the words Sir told him the day he met All Might, the importance of keeping a secret. He couldn't tell Bakugo, no matter how much he felt he deserved to know. He searched for an explanation to tell him and managed to come up with something before excusing himself from his classmates and taking off toward the entrance of the school. Still tired from his battle and Recovery Girl's quirk, he was breathing a little heavily by the time he got to the entrance, where he saw Bakugo. Kachan, wait! Bakugo stopped and turned to face him, an uncharacteristically neutral look on his face, though it disappeared once he saw Izuku. Before Bakugo could yell at him, I thought you deserved to know that this quirk. I've always had it, but my body wasn't strong enough to use it, so people thought I was quirkless. But I trained to become stronger, and now I can use it. I didn't hide my quirk from you, from anyone, Kachan. Bakugo glared at him and growled. What kind of shitty excuse is that, Deku? Do you expect me to believe that shit? I lost to you today, but you won't win again. I'll become the #1. Just watch me, nerd. And you better not get in my way. Bakugo was tearing up a bit in anger, but blinked them back and began walking away. Suddenly, a rush of air came from behind him, and All Might was behind Bakugo, his hands on his shoulders. Young Bakugo, I hope you are not feeling down from today's training exercise. Win or lose, there's always something to learn, so... All Might was interrupted by Bakugo, who simply said, Get off me, All Might. The hero, surprised, let go, and Bakugo kept walking. I'm coming for your spot, All Might, and ain't nothing gonna stop me. This is just a setback. I'll become the #1 hero, no matter what. All Might looked surprised for a moment, before laughing. I will hold you to that, young Bakugo. Now, though. He turned to Izuku, who had been watching in awe of Bakugo's determination. What was it you were talking to Bakugo about, Izuku's eyes widened at the words. No, it's not what you think. I just told him my quirk had been too powerful for my body, and that's why I couldn't use it. All Might looked relieved at the news. I see. That's good. One for all, it's a precious secret that you can't tell to just anyone. Keep that in mind, young Midoriya. Izuku nodded emphatically. Satisfied, All Might rushed back into the school, leaving Izuku alone, though only for a few moments as Ida and Uraraka came out again to walk home with him. The next day, as Izuku was approaching the UA gate, he saw reporters crowded around the entrance. As he tried to get through, he was interrupted by a woman sticking a microphone in his face before asking, Excuse me, how are All Might's classes? Seeing the cameras and realizing he might be on live TV, he panicked. I have to get to the nurse's office. With that, he bolted. He really felt bad for anyone who had to deal with them. Coming into the classroom, most of his classmates were already there, complaining about the commotion at the gates. Silence reigned when Izuku came in, glaring at them all, before settling at his desk. Good work on yesterday's combat training. I saw the video and results. Bakugo, you're talented, so don't act like a kid. Bakugo scowled at that, but only said, I know. And Midoriya. Izuku flinched at his name being called. Was he going to be scolded for being too reckless with his weights? Good job, but don't let personal feelings get in the way of your mission. A hero can't afford distractions. Izuku grinned at the small amount of praise. Yes, sir. Now, let's get down to homework business. Sorry for the short notice, but today... The entire class felt the tension bearing down on them. Was it another test? Were they going to be threatened with expulsion yet again? We'll be choosing a class representative. Izuku felt the relief sweep through the room. A normal school activity. In an instant, everyone's hands were up. People were yelling over each other, all eager to become the class rep. In a normal school, it might seem like a tedious job, but at UA, the rep will be like a leader, mimicking what it would be like to be a top hero leading sidekicks or other heroes. Izuku also meekly put his hand up, knowing that if he wanted to become the #1 hero, he'd need some experience in leading. The cacophony in the room was deafening, until Ida yelled over the noise, Silence, please! This kind of role comes with the serious responsibility of leading others. It's not the kind of job just anyone who wants it can do. You must have the trust of everyone around you. If we are truly to have a fit class representative, then it would be wise that we hold an election. Thank you all for watching the video to the end. Now, there are a few more things that I'd like to go over before the video ends. On behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank the writer of this video and editors for this video. Their details will be in the description. If you're a voice actor, editor, or writer, or you're interested in becoming one of those, go to the Discord that is in the description of this video and hit up the head of one of those areas. We're always looking for members to join us. That's it from us for today's video. So thank you all for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're interested, and hit that like button if you like the video. Until next time. Peace out, mortals. Have a fantastic day.